Hey man, what it is, what it ain't. We here for another episode of the From the Jump podcast. I'm your host DJ here with a few of my co-hosts, the bro hosts, but you know how that go though, man. Depending on how the cameras are set up again, we got my boy Big Josh in the building.
Year was
Yes,
good.
sir. And we got the biggest, Big Meech in the building. Yes, sir.
What's good? What's
Yes,
good?
sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, had some stuff going on prior, but we back. Hopefully, we come back with more consistency. You know, as we've hit the midway point for most teams in the NBA, about
Yeah.
41 games. And you know, as this stuff goes on, obviously we've already had one trade of former All Star caliber player, things like that. It should be ramping up, and we'll talk about some of those things in this episode. But again, I don't know if it was in part of one of our prior episodes or one of them that got scrapped. But thank you all. We hit our 100 mark on YouTube. We plan to keep growing, keep going. Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
Oh,
yes, thank you to everybody. We appreciate it. But with that being said, let's get cooking. So we're gonna go through our mid-season reviews of our teams. Just kind of giving our thoughts of where we are, where we shape up as we go towards the second half of the season and start positioning ourselves for playoff spots. So first, I would like to start with Meech. Meech, talk to me about your Lakers. Good, bad, indifferent. Just let me know what you got going on.
Bad slash indifferent. Um, Ironically enough, we're in the same. We have the same record that we did last year at this time when we started the season 2-12. Um, so I say that to say we made it to the conference finals last year. So the realm of possibility of us still having a successful season is there, but the likelihood of it is low. We just need some adjustments. And that's pretty much it. We're a bad team right now, but it's like we play well against the good teams. Beat the Clippers, the Suns, um, the Pels. I think and then we lose against Brooklyn, and we even beat the Thunder twice. Like then we lose against like Brooklyn and shit like that. So
Gotcha.
you know.
Gotcha. I got more on your Lakers a little bit later. We'll discuss. And my boy Big Josh, man, talk to me. What are you thinking about Philly? What's going on? What's on your mind? Talk to me.
I mean, Sixers looking good. You know, when we got Embiid, when we got the full squad going, we looking good. Got five straight wins against Sacramento, Houston. Surprisingly against Denver. I'll be honest with you. I was very surprised we pull out that win. Embiid got 41. Almost a triple double that game,
Yeah.
pretty decent. And then smacked Orlando, and then a good game against Charlotte. And then I'm actually excited for the next game against San Antonio. See two big ass motherfuckers on the court, Embiid and Wembyama going against each other. I think for the first time. So this is gonna be an interesting game to see how it stacks up. I think Wembyama is going to get pushed around crazy because the size difference and the weight difference is just crazy compared to those two. But Maxi looking good. Embiid's on the track to hopefully stays healthy to be MVP. Again, back to back MVPs. And if that's another back to back MVP, that's like the third, that's like what? The fourth time in a row it'll be back to back MVPs because Steph, then Giannis, then who's
Joker.
after Joker, and then if Embiid can pull it off, that'll be a crazy stat for the NBA. But yeah, man, I'm happy with the Sixers.
Yo,
Hopefully, everyone stay healthy.
hell yeah, hell yeah.
Let's hear about the
The
Pels.
Pelicans, man. We're in do or die mode, and I know it sounds a little drastic for being in the middle of the season, but I think rotations and playing time and situational awareness definitely need to be reevaluated throughout the coaching staff and the organization because we have all the talent in the world. Like we have so much draft capital. We have so many players where I mean we have I think Trey Murphy still on his rookie contract. We have Jordan Hawkins we just signed as a rookie who I guarantee you, many, many, many teams would love to have. I mean, we've seen Trey Murphy with the team with Zion and Bi out dropping 30 before. We've seen him drop 40. We've seen Jordan Hawkins in the games where Bi and Zion are out, and he's dropped 30. I think twice
Mm-hmm.
this season. And we have really some great players, but those two players are the ones that don't get any playing time when the starters are on the floor. And I think as we go towards this playoff push, you know, we need to reevaluate who's starting. And I understand you paid these some players a lot of money, and you're afraid what the I don't know if it's the organization or who looks at you funny if they get benched at some point or if they don't play the fourth quarter. But that just happens for some people. There were some games where the Clippers couldn't
Mm-hmm.
play DeAndre Jordan back in the day when you had the hack and Shack rule
Right.
in order to play these players. You know, it's just yes, we gave Herb Jones, I don't know if it was 80 million or something like that, and I love Herb. Herb is going to play defense, you know, but in the flow of the game, when you're kicking it out to Najee Marshall, who I love, great player, definitely plays his role and does it to the best of his ability. Doesn't try to do more, doesn't do less at all. But you kick it out to him, you kick it out to Herb, you kick it out to Jose Alvarado. Like these are
Mm-hmm.
not shooters, and you have two guys that demand a double team or for at least help defense to some extent, and you're kicking it out to them, and we're missing wide open threes. Niggas not getting back in transition. Jose Alvarado might
Mm-hmm.
be my height, might, and you got him trying to guard Dejounte Murray's, the Lamelo
You
Balls.
absolutely taller than
That's
him.
what I'm saying, bro. And you got
You're
him
absolutely taller
fucking
than him.
guarding Lamelo's, Damian Lillard's,
Mm-hmm.
fucking just Tyrese Halliburton. Like my nigga, come on, and he can't knock down a consistent
Yeah.
three. Why? He's the most likable Pat Beverly I've ever seen in my life. Like
That's funny
take
as
that
hell.
nigga out the game, and I don't. It's not that I don't. I understand these is how people feed their family. But you might be like a Udonis Haslam, nigga. You may be with the team your entire career and get a check just because you're a good nigga
Mm-hmm.
and you communicate well. Yeah, and
Likable.
you're very
Right.
likable.
Right.
That may be your role. I'm sorry if you don't get the $20 million contract you think you're gonna ever get. It's not happening. It's not. Willie Green, I need you to get on your shit or get the fuck out. Pack up, my nigga. Give us Monty Williams, Doc, motherfucking. I don't even care at this point. Bring back the triangle offense with goddamn buddy from Phil Jackson. Like, come on, man.
Look, man, DJ, man, I'm gonna be brutally honest
Come
with
on.
you. Just because you're my friend and I care about your emotional well being.
Yeah,
The Pelicans will never win a championship.
I hear you,
Like ever.
but Milwaukee
No,
did it.
no, no.
Milwaukee did
Like
You
it.
ain't
ever.
listening. You hear me, but you ain't
I
listening.
feel you.
Milwaukee, Kareem Abdul Jabbar or Lou Alcindor won a championship in Milwaukee.
Years ago.
It was,
Well, what
and
about
they won.
Denver? Wasn't
Do
that
you have a
Denver's first
Jokic?
championship ever?
Fair, but do you have a Jokic?
We have a Zion and a Brandon
And
Ingram.
and and to Denver's defense, for the past 4 or 5 years, Denver has been in the conference finals, trying to get over that
That's
hump,
true.
That's true.
and
Good,
they
good point.
finally did it.
Good point. Yep.
Pelicans are like that team that's in the middle of the pack, that is never gonna. They're never gonna win a championship, man. I'm sorry.
I hear you, right?
So
But look at us, man. We here. We in Oklahoma. Who thought Oklahoma would have made it to a NBA Finals? I'm not saying it's not
we've never
possible. We've
won.
never won, but we can get there. We had three MVPs on the one team.
All
That's
right.
facts.
I'm
That's
glad. I'm glad you
facts.
said that. I'm glad you said that. Three MVP Hall of Famers drafted 1 year after
For
another.
sure.
That's an
That's
anomaly. That would
true.
never
That is
happen
very
again.
true.
Mm-hmm.
So unless y'all get a Zion and another Zion and another Zion for the next 3 years, That's the only way y'all will get to the
Okay.
finals. And then, match up against a prime fucking, I don't know who's going to be prime at that time whenever you do, if you do get to the finals in the East.
Let me,
Um,
I'll say this in a closing statement. I think Brandon Ingram has very much has the potential to be a Hall of Famer. I think
Wow.
Brandon Ingram is nice. Brandon Ingram is very nice. He's just not as solid as Jason Tatum in the form of his structure. I think Jason Tatum will be a Hall of Famer at some point, but I think their games are very similar. I think they're very similar. I think you got a skinny version, and I think you got the one that decided to
yes.
take the initiative in bulking up. If you look at Jason Tatum's rookie year to now, I think Brandon Ingram has all the ability to score 25, and like I said, over the last few games, is averaging about 6 to 7 assists. Mid range game is great. Starting to shoot the three ball, different things like that. I think Trey Murphy is a Mikal Bridges type. He just hasn't had the ability to put it on the floor. He's 16, can shoot the three ball, can finish over 7 footers, willing passer. I think he is definitely Mikal Bridges light at the moment. I think we have a very good chance. I just think coaching, we have probably the most stacked team in the league right now, top to bottom, top
Man.
to bottom.
Top to bottom like that?
Valanciunas is a very underrated center in the NBA. Can get you 15 and 10 a game. You have Zion who attracts double teams
Yes.
easily. Free throw machine, collapses defense. Brandon
Yeah.
Ingram, elite mid range shooter, collapse the defense. You have a rookie in Jordan Hawkins who is amazing, who doesn't get the play he deserves. Trey Murphy who doesn't get the play he deserves. But and this is what 6, 7, 8 people on them. You got CJ who's 15 automatic. Like we got the points to win games. We just not playing them right.
That's an interesting take,
I
bro.
feel you. So
The
go ahead.
the sooner you realize and get it like and accept it, promise you, you'll have better sleep, better night's sleep.
And
You won't be having any migraines. Trying to figure out why they're not trying to win basketball games.
I feel you.
It's because they don't want to win, and that's just the reality of it. If they did, they would have traded Zion a season ago.
I think
Yep.
they're afraid of the fact of if they trade him and he actually decides to get his weight under control and get to where they know he could be, and then it'd be the GM's gonna get fired, the fucking all them people are gonna get fired. The instant Zion goes wherever,
Nah, fuck that.
that's exact.
That ain't their
I
fault.
agree.
That's like that. That's like that viral tweet of that woman who the guy divorced because she was like 500 pounds, and then when they divorced, she decided to get in shape. She wasn't gonna do it for him. He didn't need to be with
I
her.
agree.
If Zion ain't gonna get in shape for the Pels, then
He
he
ain't gonna
don't
do
need.
it for no one else.
Yeah, he gonna do it for him when he
Right.
wants to. So
I agree.
And when he
I don't
wants
think
to, it's
they.
gonna be too late.
Yeah.
Nope.
So as we move on, man, one thing I'd like to talk about is the Pascal Siakam trade from Toronto to the Indiana Pacers. As you look at the
Yes.
team as constructed right now, from what I can say off the top of my brain, I believe the starting lineup is Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, I believe Benedict Mathurin, Pascal Siakam, and Miles Turner. I was wanting to get y'all's input on what y'all feel about that trade. I think Indiana right now has the #1 rated offense in the NBA. Yeah, just tell me what y'all think. I'm gonna start with you, Josh.
Go ahead,
Go
Josh.
ahead.
I mean, actually, Matherin's on the bench right now.
Okay.
Aaron Nesmith is starting
Okay.
small forward, so that's a pretty interesting changeup. But hey, that's another W for the Pacers, man. That's a really good trade. It's something they need. I think Miles Siakam could really help Miles Turner in the paint, trying to get rebounds because Miles Turner always be having foot problems. So because he always be hurting his foot or something like that. But get some more height down there. I was really good. Halliburton, is a good, obviously one of the best point guards in the league right now. And it's really good to see this team actually, building, getting shit together, to be back in like the playoff picture and talk Hell, I'm talking maybe next year even talks to being in the possible conference finals. Because what they beat Boston twice.
Yep. They beat
They
Milwaukee
beat
4 out of 5.
Yeah, they beat Milwaukee 4 out of 5. So that's hard to do against those teams. And the fact that the Pacers are doing it is a big statement. Is a big statement. And then you also got T.J. McConnell on the bench when Halliburton's out, and T.J. McConnell is kind of nice. He kind of nice if when he's on. So I'm excited for this team.
Yep. What do you think about Pascal joining the 12 and a half assist Tyrese Halliburton in Indiana? That's what he's averaging.
Um,
That's awesome. Halliburton's gonna be dishing him dimes, and Siakam can get up there with the best. So shit, it's a match made in heaven for Indiana right
Hell
now.
yeah, Meech. What you think?
yeah, fleeced. Pacers fleeced. Um,
Big fleece.
uh, that was it wasn't even a win-win trade. I don't even know who they got for Bruce
Bruce
Brown.
Brown. That
They
was it.
got they got
Yeah.
They
Skittles,
got
and a bag of chips.
they got Bruce Brown. Okay, so for Pascal, which Pascal I've seen report that when they had him on a trading block, kind of fucked him up, and he wanted to go after that. Sure, Masai Ujiri got rid of two of his 6'9" Africans, still got two more. So you know, he still got a bunch of them over
Oh,
there.
dude.
Yeah, it was a great trade for, like Josh said, the Pacers got the Bucks number for sure. Pacers number or the Boston number, how they beat them a couple times. Rick Carlisle, shout out to Rick Carlisle. He's one of the older coaches who that's not. If you know Rick Carlisle's history of coaching, this play style is not his style. A just bunch of run and gun. That's a D'Antoni type of shit. Rick Carlisle is a half court coach. He had Dirk Nowitzki and shit. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Jason Terry, all them niggas.
And,
Yep.
and Luka Doncic. You know what I mean? Like, so he's a half court, X's and O's guy. But the fact that he adapted to where his personnel is and allowed these young niggas to just go out there and run and play, that's great coaching because he's learning even at this stage in his career, he's learning how to be a better coach. He's not just stubborn and stuck and saying you got to play this way like Tom Thibodeau or something like that.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, Pacers won the trade.
Yeah. Well, I will say though, the Pacers have to stay healthy because
Yes.
if they don't have Halliburton, it's kind of like
Yes.
just Siakam and Turner out there, and I mean that's not going to be much on the perimeter. Heel isn't the best, clutch shooter around. He's averaging 12 points a game, and he's 38% from three, so that's not good.
Pretty good.
That's not good, being the shooting guard. But yeah, if everyone's healthy, it's going to be a really good season for the Pacers this year.
So, Meech, because your team has been linked to this gentleman and now the Milwaukee Bucks, DeJounte Murray, the Hawks are currently trying to move DeJounte Murray. Pretty much everybody they said besides Trae Young and Jalen Johnson. Meech, what is your opinion on this? Because from what I know, he's not the most prolific of three-point shooters. And obviously you have LeBron and Anthony Davis and D'Angelo Russell. So tell me what are your thoughts if the Lakers were to make that trade?
Yeah. So there's this thing called the Laker tax that everybody around the league knows. NBA Twitter knows. It's when the Lakers are seeking a player like a DeJounte Murray. The Hawks want D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, two first-round draft picks. They want a Gutton. But if the Indiana Pacers wanted DeJounte Murray, they'll let him go for a second-round pick. That's just how it goes. And so the Lakers don't really have many friends around the NBA. So we've traded with the Jazz and the Wizards over the last few years. That's it. I think it'll be a good. Dejounte Murray's a dog, and I love that about him. I don't think he's better fit than D'Angelo Russell
Right.
is. And if we do decide to trade him for D'Lo, D'Lo is very inconsistent. Then it gets still loading. Then don't throw Austin Reeves in there or Rui or a first round pick or all that
Yeah.
shit. Like
Because you know they're gonna want
one
shooters or something.
exactly. Give me fucking Boban or
Bogdan
Bogdan.
Bogdanovich.
Which one of
Yeah.
them? Yeah, but give me him. Throw him in there. Shit, he's a
Yeah.
bucket. I'll take Bogdan any day. But
Kevin.
yeah, it's just Lakers. Don't listen to none of these rumors, these Laker rumors, bro. It's Laker tax. Teams throw that shit out there. I remember a year ago, and I'm gonna
Go
let you
ahead.
go
Go
on
go.
with this. We were trying to get the other Bogdanovich, who plays for Detroit
Yeah.
now, and when he was in
Yeah.
Utah. You remember last year when we were like, "What is Utah doing?" They were like the number one team in the
Yup.
West, and they were supposed to be tanking or whatever. He was on that team, and we needed shooters, so we were linked to them. And the reports that were going out is Utah wants 2 first round picks for Bogdanovich, and we're like, "What the fuck? Lakers aren't going to do that. No team would do
No.
that." As soon as the Lakers no longer interested, they traded the nigga for a second round pick to Detroit. Laker tax.
Yep.
So don't believe nothing until a pick is actually or trade is actually made with the Lakers. And it's gonna come out of nowhere like all of our trades do. When you're like, oh damn, didn't expect that to happen. So
One more before we get off your Lakers. There are also three out of six people that I see currently that are the Lakers are eyeing. Give me your thoughts or tell me which name out of these three that you would want. You have Bruce Brown, Jeremy Grant from Portland. You have Terry Rozier from Charlotte. Which one of those, if you were able to acquire them for your Lakers team currently, would you be most happy to see join your team?
it would probably be Jeremy Grant. Just because he's a combo, he can defend, he can score, he can rebound. He's he's that wing threat. He can run, jump, like he could do everything. Bruce Brown is a good piece to a good championship team. He's not an option per se. And Terry Rozier is cold, and everything, but I don't know when he's gonna calm down. Like when I don't know too much about Terry Rozier, or I haven't watched too much Terry Rozier over the last couple of years. I know he can get hot, and I know he can score a lot, but um, it's not that we necessarily need scoring. We need defend. We need defense. We need length. If I could get Kyle Kuzma back, I would honestly. But Jeremy Grant is as closest to that,
Okay.
so it'll be Grant.
Josh, Philly
Yeah.
as of right now isn't linked to too many people that I know of. But if you were able to acquire somebody for your starting five that could make a difference, is there anybody that you see within reason? Obviously, as far as payment, because y'all are finna give Tyrese Maxey a bag if y'all haven't already.
Yup.
Who would you like to trade for?
I'd probably trade for. I know we talked about this a few weeks ago, but Levine. I'd love to get Levine out of Chicago, come over to the Phillies, or honestly, still picking on Chicago. Give us fucking DeMar DeRozan, but the cap is not. But the likelihood of that is definitely slim to none.
Right.
But Levine would probably be my first pick. Trade off Tobias. Korsmaz can go. Maybe a couple draft picks here and there, but because we need a two. We need a shooting guard. We need someone else someone else that Maxi can deliver the ball to other than Embiid. Sometimes we can rely on Tobias. Sometimes we can't. We're kind of talking about this off stream, but Yeah, if we could just have that one person, just shoot the ball. We know it's going to go in most times for the three. That'd be a great find, man. Because Tyrese needs help on the perimeter. We don't have it yet. We don't have it. That's the piece we're missing. But if all things considering, if Tobias can just bump up that 17 to a 20 per game, and everyone stays healthy, I know Meach think that ain't gonna happen, but I want to believe in my Sixers. We can beat this be in the Eastern Conference Finals. uh, that'll be that's all we need, man. And we got it'd be interesting. And this kind of like off your question, but we got Kenneth Lofton Jr. We just signed him. He's an interesting find. He's an interesting player too. He's kind of like got the build of a heavier what's that man's name? Zion Williams. It'd be very interesting to see how he kind of can step up and fit into the rotation, and because he's not afraid of being in the paint, he's not afraid to put up shots, and that's what we need. Sure. We need someone that's not afraid to put up shots. But yeah,
Oh yeah. Whew. I honestly, for my team, if I had to pick one person, I'd actually get him from your team, Josh. Right now, I
yeah,
would get Kelly Oubre as a 3-point threat who also plays defense. I love Herb Jones. Love Herb Jones. But somebody who's more consistent in knocking down the three ball and that is willing to play defense, and it gives us another option to kick it out on the perimeter. If we're going to refuse to play Trey Murphy and Jordan Hawkins, I just think that gives us another person that you can keep on the floor longer that also has the potential to hit the occasional three. I think at least one a quarter if, given the ball. With as much as we drive into the paint and kick, we're not really a 3-point dominant team. We're a predominantly paint drive for a free throw or layup, or somebody makes a last minute decision, whether it be Zion or Brandon Ingram in midair and kicks the ball out to a wide open person. It just doesn't work when you're kicking it out to, again, like I said, off air, Jose Alvarado, Najee Marshall, these guys that aren't 3-point threats. They do what our best players do, just at a lower clip and getting into the paint and drawing fouls. And nobody really. Jose drives in there like a bull in the china shop and tries to throw a shot over Wembanyama and Joel Embiid, and then looks at the ref like, "Where's my foul call?" But yeah, just, a lot going on. Again, this is trade time. Everybody's kind of gearing up.
Yep.
I think Chicago, if they don't do it this year, it's gonna get bad.
they should definitely do it this year. They should definitely do it this year.
If they let everybody just walk for nothing,
Right.
somebody's getting fired. Somebody's getting fired. Right. So with that, I know we didn't have too much in pre-production. I'm gonna have two questions, and they're kind of gonna run on a little bit. But Chicago, right now, with the 3 to 4 stars that they have, obviously we never know if Lonzo will get back, and it's been a long journey for him. I've been injured, I believe, the last 3 years with the knee problem. But Levine, I don't know if you, Josh, think that Philly is his best location, but let's talk about where y'all think outside of our teams or to our teams, where would be the best fit for the 4 guys or 3 guys that they have in DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and Vucevic. Meech, I'm going to start with Levine for you, and then I will go to Josh, and then we'll continue on. So who would you think would be the best fit for Zach LaVine at this point in his career and what he has to offer?
Yeah, I actually think Philly would be a great destination for Levine. They do need a absolute third scorer. There's been teams who won championships with a one option and a 2 option sometimes. And then every once in the blue moon, there's teams that's won with a bona fide 3 option. But you always have to have that 1-2 punch.
Right.
Me personally, sorry, Josh, I don't firmly believe in Tyrese Maxey.
Ooh.
The reason why,
Shit.
I'm gonna tell you why, is because this foul that the NBA has been giving these guards of running into the defensive player and throwing it up and looking for the foul.
Uh huh.
And when the playoffs come, they're not going to give him that call. So the Trey Youngs, the Maxis, the um, who does that foul a lot? Dame Lillard. Those type of fouls, they don't get those. So I think that's going to cut down on 10 points that Maxi gets per game when he's not getting to the line as much and could throw
Interesting.
off a rhythm, because he's not seeing the ball go through the hoop. So yeah, this is a breakout year for him, right? Um, but I think when the NBA in the playoffs, when they stop giving those fouls to the offensive player who's just literally just running into the defensive player and the refs are blowing the whistle, I think that's going to cut down his points. So I think having Levine, who is a 30-point scorer any given night, from he's a 3-level scorer at that.
Right.
The bucket, mid range, turnaround, post game, and at the 3 ball. And he's a solid defender, capable. So I think Levine will be a really good shot. Trade Tobias Harris.
Yep.
So Tobias Harris is not that third option. I know you
No.
want him to average,
I
increase up to
know.
20. It's
Man
going to
can
be the
dream, man. Man
17.
can dream. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
It's not,
He's
man.
definitely a great fourth option. I mean, when you look at 17 points, a fourth option, I think his next contract, it definitely won't be what he thinks it is unless he's going to go back to Detroit or, one of the teams of that nature. Josh, so do you agree? I know that you said with Levine earlier, so you going to roll with that one?
I think I'm gonna still roll with that one. Yeah, I'm gonna say Levine two. He's a good fit in Philly, and honestly, he might be a good fit in Golden State. I don't know because Klay Thompson ain't being the Klay Thompson that that we hold dear and near to our hearts. With the Splash Bros, because the Splash Bros ain't splashing right now. They flopping, heavy, and you see Steph being very frustrated with the team, just how they're playing. I think how Zach LaVine dominates and can be aggressive, and he could be be dunking on niggas and shit like that. And he's still got a jumper. I think he'd be a good spot in Golden State. So I think Steve Kerr and the rest of the organization really have to think about if they're still trying to be a championship team with Steph Curry still leading the pack. They got to change some shit up because Steph time is clicking. He ain't gonna be LeBron. He gonna be closing out soon.
I feel that.
He ain't going because he solidified himself into the Hall of Fame, into basketball for the rest of time, more than anyone else. Any of us will be here, right? Steph Curry's still gonna be talked about. So he can check out once he sees this team ain't going nowhere.
For sure.
I think that's what's gonna happen.
For sure. So next one, obviously, Steph, to that point, has changed the NBA more than probably any player in history with the deep three balls and how we see guys pulling up from damn near past half court, if not at the line. Saying Damian Lillard, guys like that just got the deep three. With that being said, we have one of the more traditional players on the Chicago Bulls, DeMar DeRozan, in his style of play, which is not three-ball dominant. It's very much in the paint, scoring, mid-range jumpers, things like that. Where do you guys see DeMar DeRozan being the most effective at this point in his career, obviously on the downhill slope? Josh, I will start with you. Let me know where you think would suit DeMar best.
It's a great question. And I might be kind of crazy, but I think a crazy spot for DeRozan to be in would be in Memphis. Once I know, and I'm hurt by it. Ja just came off of his suspension. He's balling, and he has to have shoulder surgery. That's such a big blow. That's such a big blow to the Memphis Grizzlies. But with Ja, Um, you know,
D Rex.
Jalen Jackson, uh, Jaron Jackson going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's still a great center power forward. I think with that team, DeRozan can
Hmm.
really shake up the West.
That's a good one. That fully
I
healthy
just like
roster:
that.
Desmond Bain, John Morant, Jaren
Yeah, because if you
Jackson.
kick, if you because Jaron Jackson's playing power forward right now, you kick him down to center. Actually, no, I take that back. I take that back. You keep him at power forward, and then you put Vince Williams Jr. on the bench, and then you have DeRozan playing small forward, which I think he needs to play because he's playing power forward right now on the Bulls. But I think if you put him at the three, I think that's a better spot for him.
Meech, what you think about that?
That's
And keep
actually
going.
that's actually good. I got a different team, but Steven Adams is their starting center. He's out for the
Yeah.
year, I think. So if we're talking about next year, Steven Adams, Jaron Jackson, DeMar, D Rex, Ja. That's a solid team. I like that. I would say for this year, I think a really good fit for him will be Dallas. Um, one because he's almost Demar is like a point forward. So I remember he was playing point guard a lot in San Antonio when he was there, on the ball heavy because they didn't have a traditional point guard. So it allows him to one because they don't their starting three is I don't know who their starting small forward is.
Their starting small
I think it's
forward
Josh Green or
is
something.
is yeah, it is. Well, it is Josh Green right now. Originally Dante Exum,
Gotcha.
but Derrick
So
Jones Jr. is playing for him right now because both of them hurt.
yeah, and he plays. They be having Derrick Jones Jr. play the power forward sometimes. So he can run the offense and run the team when Lucas takes it. Because right now, in order for them to succeed, they have to take turns with Luca and Kyrie,
Yep.
and neither one of them can be off the floor at the same time. Or Tim Hardaway has to be having a really good night.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I think DeMar DeRozan will be a really good fit in Dallas. He's another 20 points per game, can handle the ball, can defend, smart playmaker, and that mid range. I mean, the mid range god.
For sure. If I had to pick a spot, in particular, I would go with Atlanta. You're trying to get rid of Dejounte Murray right now. Um, I think if you switch him out right with the Dejounte with that trade,
Right.
I think you open the floor for Bogdanovich and Trey to shoot. So you do that, you have somebody that can collapse the defense, kick the ball out to shooters and Trey Young and Bogdan. I think it will, open their game up a little more. That way, Trey doesn't have to shoot force threes, or Bogdan doesn't have to come off catching screens for a quick jumper. I just think that would help maximize what they do. Trey's gonna be Trey. He's gonna obviously put up numbers, but I think it will help him being an undersized guard. Uh, just take his game to the next level. And Vucevic, man.
Trey
Go ahead.
Young.
Oh, Vucevic, Nikola
Yeah.
Vucevic,
Vooch.
definitely one of the under talked about centers like Jonas Valanciunas in the league, and what they're able to contribute to teams. Somebody who can stretch the floor and hit an open three, different things like that. A solid mid-range jumper. Definitely has an old school post game with the hooks and different things like that.
Yeah.
Where do y'all think Vucevic would be most effective coming from Orlando to Chicago and Chicago to where? Meech, I'll start with you first.
Shit, like a Dallas again. Go ahead and do a two
That's what I was gonna
swap.
say. Yep.
Vucevic and DeMar in Dallas. They need a solid actual center. Um, and that's a great fit. So either Dallas or Oklahoma City for Vucevic. OKC is the
Whoa.
number
We've
two
been.
seed. OKC is number two seed right now.
They're
Yeah.
behind
Where you putting
Minnesota.
them then? Where you putting them in on OKC?
Vucevic at the five because Chet is playing the five, and when Chet has played against Sabonis, Jokic,
Wow.
I'm not sure if they played Embiid yet. They're not going to win with no actual center. That's the only thing OKC is missing. is
Wow,
an actual center.
that's interesting.
Gotcha. I like that
Yeah.
because
So
Chet likes to play around the 3 point line anyway. And, so
yeah,
it gives somebody where he doesn't have to clog up the lane or, you know what I'm saying? I like that. That's not bad.
yeah.
Josh, talk to me. Where do you think would be a good spot for Nikola Vucevic?
I mean, I was also going to say Dallas as well because I remember I think we had this conversation before, and I was like, yeah, get Lively on the bench. I know he's a rookie. Get him on the bench. Let's trade Dante Exum or someone else. Like let's get Vooch to Dallas. I think that'd be a great fit for him. They share. Luca and Kyrie are good with sharing the ball, so they'll give him some looks and all that stuff. But another place I was looking at could possibly be, it could be Indiana. Get trade with Miles
Yes.
Turner, because Miles Turner's hit or miss. Sometimes he can get you a double double. Sometimes he's got blocking fire going on. Like that couple seasons ago, he's like averaging 3 blocks a game, which was crazy. But I think he's losing kind of his, I don't know, his motivation, like his want to win ball games or to get the ball and be
Yeah.
aggressive. But I think Pacers, another trade for the Pacers to get Vooch would be pretty crazy.
Building them
Oh,
Legos.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For real.
Yeah, facts.
For,
Probably stepping on them Legos, hurting his foot and shit.
man, crush them shits. But if I
Oh, yo, another place though,
go
real
ahead,
quick. I just thought about New York Knicks with
it's
Brunson.
funny because I just looked
New
at
York
that.
Knicks.
Fact.
That would be
That's facts.
that would be a New York would go crazy for Vooch, bro. If
Yeah,
I was a
Hartenstein.
Knicks fan, I would definitely want him on my team.
Oh, yeah.
I would trade even Julius Randle for him. Honestly, put Julius Randle over to Chicago. And because they still got Mitchell Robinson,
Yeah.
they can be on the bench, and Mitchell Robinson could possibly be bump up to the power forward position. But well, no, he said actually that ain't gonna work. I'm gonna take that back.
He's he's
But
out for the year too. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. But seeing Jalen Brunson, OG, and Vooch playing together would be a very interesting trio to see. And DiVincenzo, we can't really knock him out of the conversation, because he's 42% from three, which is pretty on the higher end. But he just needs more looks, and make opportunities for himself. But
For sure.
yeah,
If I had to pick somewhere for him, I would say potentially Dallas as a kick out guy. If you want to spread the floor so Luka and Kyrie have an easier time getting to the lane, somebody you can also kick it out to for an open jumper. But honestly, the place I'd most like to see him go is go back to Orlando right now. The way Paolo Banchero's been playing, and how
Really?
they've been,
I like that.
all they really need
That's
is
good.
a solid guard. If you're not gonna get two solid point guards and shooting guard, or one great guard somewhere in the draft at some point, because I mean Paolo's been. If you haven't seen Paolo Banchero this year, I would highly suggest seeing his highlights. It's not the most flashy, but just what he does, his shot choices, and the way he's able to get to the rim. Very skilled as a power forward slash center, but again, someone to help spread the floor for all of them. Because even Jalen Suggs is looking like, somewhat of the top 10 pick he was when he was drafted. He's hitting good shots,
Yeah.
playing very well. They have a young team, but to also bring a veteran presence there, someone that can also score the ball and get
Yes.
rebounds and help kind of guide this young team. The organization, you've been there for most of your career, and now is the time where they actually have some talent, as we saw earlier this season when they were a top seed in the Eastern Conference. So going back home, I think would be great. I just think that they're missing a dominant guard. And I mean, we all know that nobody that is currently in the NBA is going to choose to go to Orlando. So I just think some great scouting in order to get you the point guard or shooting guard of the future that can help maximize their potential with a veteran presence of Nikola Vucevic, who can get you easily 10 and 10 a night and hit the open shot would be great. Oh,
Facts.
so
That's a good take.
I
That's a good
appreciate
take.
that. One
Yeah.
thing I'm gonna go around before we get out of here because we've been running for 45 minutes. I'm gonna name off some names, and you tell me what they need to do in order to uh, place, or what the team needs, or what the player needs to do in order to compete for a championship. So I'm gonna let it cook. I'll go first so I can give y'all some time to think about it, and then we'll continue to move forward. So first and foremost, I would like to start with LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball is in place for the Charlotte Hornets. You know, can easily get you a triple double, 6, 7 point guard, rebounds the ball, passes the ball extremely well. I would, before Tyrese Halliburton, say he's probably one of the better big guards in the NBA as far as a true point guard to some extent, or as close as you can get in this modern day of basketball. Can shoot the three ball, creates for himself very well, can get to the rim at 6'7". I think Charlotte needs a dominant center. I think their issue right now is the center position. I think if you were able to possibly get a Vucevic or somebody that can stretch the floor, don't get me wrong, Nick Richards does a good job. They're kind of like the tandem in Detroit with they can score and rebound the ball. They can go get you 12 rebounds and 9 points, but it clogs up that paint. You have Miles Bridges, who's a good small forward. Just came back from his little incident, and then you have Terry Rozier, who's obviously a bucket. We saw Scary Terry in Boston. He's still that same man. Still can go get you some points. But if I had to choose for a team for him to go to, honestly, it would probably be either. Whew, that's tough. I would say it would probably be L.A., the Lakers, not the Clippers. Just from a sense of he's been in the spotlight his whole life. He's not scared of the moment. He's a great distributor of the basketball. Can shoot the three ball, can create for himself. Give LeBron some minutes as a 6, 7 point guard to let the 6'9" behemoth that is LeBron some time when he's off the court to facilitate, and then is going to make the right pass, but can also shoot the three ball a little bit better than Bron. But that's my take on that. Josh, I'm gonna start with you. What would you suggest that Charlotte needs? And on the flip side, where do you think LaMelo would be a great fit at?
I think with Charlotte, I don't know, because you got the leader, you got the mentorship of MJ with Charlotte, and everything, because that's his home team. So a lot of conversations are happening there. I would rebuild around LaMelo. Honestly, I would trade Gordon Hayward, get him off the squad. I would get rid of Miles Bridges because he's a liability. Nigga got anger problems and shit like that, so he needs to sort out his life. Get rid of PJ Washington. He ain't doing shit. So trade those three motherfuckers and try to get some draft picks, get some youngins, like your Victor Wembanyama's and whoever out there tall as hell to get them on this squad, because I think LaMelo is loved in Charlotte. I think he likes playing for this organization. And with Terry Rozier, veteran by his side to give tips and tricks and shit like that, I think that's a good pair to have on your squad. Definitely, since he's playing the shooting guard position, Terry. But yeah, I think they just need to rebuild, trade, get these three out of here. I love personally. I think Gordon Hayward is a decent and a good basketball player, but he just needs to go. He's not finding his stride with this team right now, and also he's also hurt with a foot injury every year. It's just inevitable. Like, he's gonna be hurt with something, and it's gonna be something with his leg. So it's that's why I think that needs to happen.
And if I could switch that up real quick, even though I know Pop would hate that nigga on this team, just the pairing of the young LaMelo Ball with Victor Wembanyama.
Oh yeah,
and to get some,
Yes.
find some pieces in between the center and point guard position, because
Right.
you'd have those solidified. But me,
man, LaMelo will be getting 20 assists a game
yeah.
if he had Victor on his team, bro.
fact. Meech,
Easy.
talk to me. What do you think?
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing Josh was. Complete overhaul of the roster. Yes, I would love to see LaMelo in the Laker uniform. He's from SoCal area. I think that he's been in the spotlight his whole life. He wouldn't he would definitely shine bright under those lights. So I don't think there would be an issue with LaMelo in the Laker jersey. But if I'm the Charlotte Hornets organization, I would never trade a generational talent like LaMelo. So what I would do is I would go if I'm LaMelo or if I'm the organization, I would go to Melo or go to each other and say 4 years, and we'll have this team a contender. We're going to do a complete overhaul and build around you. You're going to have input in the type of players that we draft or to trade for, so we can try and make this a contender. Because they're what? They're bottom seed, right? I mean, they're like one of the bottom
I mean,
teams in
they're
the
9-31 right now, so it's pretty bad. Like,
season is over. You know,
yeah,
season
exactly.
is
Sure.
season is over. Another wasted season. And yeah, Lamelo's still young, but you don't want him to start to get to the point where okay, he got a lot of money, he trying to finally win, and Charlotte ain't gonna be where he does it. Michael Jordan did enough damage with his his drafting and trading and contracts that he gave Terry Rozier that nasty contract, gave Gordon Hayward that deal,
Yeah, that's a
gave
good
PJ
point.
Washington that money. Like
Yeah, that's a
it's
good point.
it was a lot of bad decisions being made. So if I'm the team, I'm like, look, give us 4 years. If we're not contender, we'll trade you to whoever we can with your input. And that way, if you're the Hornets, it's a win-win. You get a probably a nice haul for trading Lamelo Ball. Uh, and then you get to go back and draft. You're a bad team anyway, so you're going to be in the lottery every year anyway.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, so that's what I would do. If I can't see him in the Laker jersey, if I'm Lamelo Ball, I'm telling them to let's start this thing from scratch. And if I'm the Hornets, I'm in agreement. If we can't be a contender in 4 years, I mean, look, the Pacers did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Miami Heat are in the conference finals every year. You know, like there's no reason why the Charlotte Hornets can't make a few. There's no direction. That's pretty much it. There's just no direction of the organization.
Okay. Next, I will say, um, damn, why did my brain just click out like that? I had two more players. Okay, I will say Trey Young. Trey Young with the Atlanta Hawks. Obviously, an all-star guard, very definitely undersized, about 6 foot 6'1". Great distributor of the basketball, 3-point threat, free throw guy for sure. Knows how to attract contact. Where do you guys see Trey Young being most effective right now, or what would you do as far as trades? Because Atlanta is obviously a location a lot of players would love to be in. This one for me, if I had to, pick, I would say New Orleans. I love C.J. McCollum, but his true position and what he's played most of his career is the two guard. Behind Damian Lillard. I think,
Right.
if the coaching changed and we got all our shooters on the floor and we had Brandon Ingram, Zion, Trey Murphy, Trey Young, and Valanciunas, that would give us a decent amount of shooters on the floor, but everybody for the most part can create their own shot. Vucevic is great at, creating his own space in the post, however he does it with his 1 foot pump fakes and things like that. Obviously, Brandon Ingram, another mid-range maestro behind DeMar DeRozan. Zion's obviously a one-man wrecking crew. Trey Murphy, who's in the 90, 50, 40 club, or if not floating around there. But if he was to stay there, I mean, it's just so tough because everybody knows right now the prominent locations, even though nobody wants to say it or they want to stay away from it, is the Lakers. A lot of people would love to play for the Lakers. It's just the tax whenever you're trying to get traded. Now, if you're an unrestricted free agent, that's one thing. Also, people are afraid to play with LeBron because they're afraid of their careers being derailed because you're playing with the greatest player
Yeah,
on the planet. And if you
Right.
don't succeed or if you don't show up, that just shows that gives everybody else the impression that when the lights are the brightest, you can't even play with the best player in the world. So why would we think you?
Hurt your
Yeah,
stock.
why would we think you could come over with Jokic or Giannis or Joel Embiid and be effective if you can't play with which should be a free meal ticket to the finals? Um, but I don't know. There's not very many fits right now, I would say, for Trae Young, just because him being undersized. I don't like Boston. I would like Boston, but
Probably wild.
Drew Holiday gives you defense. You know, obviously Derek
Yes.
White
Yep.
can shoot the three ball a little bit. Great basketball IQ. Played under the Popovich system. You have Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum and Porzingis. I think Trey would do good there. From the standpoint, they would be somewhat like the Pacers. I think their offensive efficiency would go up. They would obviously suffer on the defensive end. I mean, unless you try to hide him like Atlanta does, and you put Derek White on the dominant guard and let them ride that out. I think just the distribution of the ball to 3-point shooters, because Porzingis, we all know, can shoot that thing. We all know Jason Tatum can shoot. Derek White can shoot. Jalen Brown is hit or miss from the 3-point line. But those are the two places. But I don't really see too many people jumping to go to Atlanta right now. And I don't know if it's the recent history of them just being failures or what it is. But, yeah, that's what I got to say about that. Meech, talk to me.
A couple of things similar to LaMelo. I think it needs to be an overhaul in Atlanta. Build around Trae Young, generational talent. You've been bad. I think he made the playoffs once. Has he made the playoffs yet?
Yeah, they beat. I think that's whenever that he got spit on and stuff at the Knicks game and all that stuff
Yeah, yeah,
happened.
yeah.
Oh
Okay,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
but Trae Young is a great player. I think in the West, like we were talking about off camera, or I'm not sure if it was on camera. Victor,
Mm-hmm.
Trae Young
Mm-hmm.
will be great to build around. Lob City right there.
Mm-hmm.
Trae Young is a great passer. He led the nation in assists at OU for that season. He was there. And I think last year ever since he's been in the NBA, he's always had close to double digit
Assist. Yeah,
averaging assist seasons.
for sure.
Or Orlando, where they could use a absolute guarantee, ball efficient point guard who's also a scorer. Trae Young, Banchero, build around the rest. Solid.
Josh, talk to me. What do you think?
Keep that man in the sunshine because he should go to Miami Heat. Him, Butler, and Bam. That would be a crazy triple threat right there. They could trade for. They could,
Hero?
I hate to say it, Tyler Hero, because he could go down to Atlanta, and also throw in Kevin Love. You could throw in Caleb Martin. You could maybe do Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson pair for Tyler Hero. But yeah, he would do great things in Miami.
I like that.
I think him and Jimmy kind of have like that same mentality. Definitely when it comes to like when the game matters with playoffs, like they both are attackers. Bam is a good person to rely on in the paint. So yeah, I really think that would be a good fit for him. Good change of scenery. I know I think he loves being in Atlanta. He loves the celebrities that come out to see him, like Quavo and 2 Chainz, and
Yeah.
Thugger. But I think it has to be a change of scenery because also him. I think with DeJounte Murray, like DeJounte wants the limelight. He wants to be that guy. Like that was the thing about what happened in his first year in Atlanta. He realized that he wasn't the guy. Like he had to share the ball with Trey, and it just wasn't working out. And I don't think the chemistry's there with them being the way they are right now. So I think Trey's got to go. He's got to leave.
Well, guys, I had a couple more, but I'm not really certain. I think they got to do a little bit more solidifying of themselves, and guys like Jalen Green, Cade Cunningham, stuff like that. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
think they got to definitely prove themselves a little more.
Yeah,
But with that being
facts.
said, man, that is another episode of the From the Jump podcast. Again, we appreciate all of y'all, man,
Yes, sir.
and we'll be
Absolutely.
back next week. But until then, we out.
Deuces.
Peace.